Welcome to In Heels with Keni Silva, and today's guest many people know from television, comedy, and pop culture. But behind the public persona is a woman who has spent years navigating motherhood, advocacy, healing, and reinvention. Welcome, Jenny McCarthy.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Jenny, so a lot of people know you on the screen. So who are you off the screen?
I guess I would just say an ordinary, typical woman. And it might seem like crazy, but no, I am probably the most, I think, people have said, right, Angie, the most down-to-earth celebrity. And I think you can see that a lot in my work. From the beginning, I wanted to be approachable. That's why I've always been a little bit self-deprecating, never taking myself too seriously, because I kind of wanted always people to know that I'm human. I'm not trying to be pretending to be someone I'm not. And I want to be your friend. I want to be relatable. I want to be helpful. I want to be a big sister. I want to be a friend. So, I work on that a lot, keeping grounded.
Which you talk a lot about healing and self-discovery.
Yeah.
What it is for you, and when did you start it that you realized that, there is something in me that I need to heal or work on? Because, we all do.
Yeah.
It just, there is times I feel like when I was in my 20s, I'm like, I'm perfect. They don't like me. They can go. And now at my age, you know what? It's not about them. It's about me and what's not working for me inside of me.
The first time I realized I probably should get into therapy was probably after my first divorce. Because
do it.
That would do it. And mainly because I felt like a few emotions, which is like I failed. And like, why didn't I listen to my instincts? Or why didn't I get out sooner? Or all these types of things that you question, then you beat yourself up. So I started back then, but it became more important as I get older in my 30s, going through when I started dating again and going through really, really difficult relationships. Some were so bad that I would label them as abusive. So I had to and I feel like I'm a pretty sane person and someone that really kind of reads people well. So I was always dumbstruck that I found myself getting into these bad relationships. And I realized, well, what is the common denominator? Because if I'm attracting these negative relationships, then I got to work on me. That was my first big aha. I need to sit down and do some real work. And I realized a lot of that had to do with self-love. And you don't really know what that means when you're younger. You're like, am I supposed to hug myself? Am I supposed to look in the mirror and say, I love you? And I realized loving yourself is making choices that are good for you. Whether it's taking care of your body, surrounding yourself with the right friends. That's so important. Being able to say the word no. I think people tend to learn that more in their 30s. They conquer it in their 40s, but really, we're a professional in your 50s. Because how many times have we given ourselves too much to people, especially women?
Especially, I think once you get older, you realize the time is so precious.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want to waste it anymore.
No.
That's why everybody who asks me, like, what advice would you give them? Like, don't waste your time on wrong people, wrong connections, wrong everything. But what you just said about going through divorce, because I wrote a book, Divorce is an Opportunity.
That's right, yes.
And I work a lot with people, especially women, that they have that guilt of failure.
Right.
And I feel like it also going forward into the relationship, they kind of have it in the back of their mind. They already failed it once.
Right.
So it's a constant, battle of, is it really me not being good?
Right.
But that's where realization comes in. Okay, no, it's just, I'm so used to picking the same thing.
That's right.
And this is where the self-discovery finally and self-love,
Yes.
I deserve better.
I deserve better. And I was a serial monogamist, which means I would date someone and then literally never cheat on anybody but start dating again immediately. There was no healing time in between. Yeah. So when I started doing the work on me, I said, okay, I'm going to take a year off of dating not even fun little, rendezvous, nothing. I'm not going to talk to guys. I'm just going to focus on me. That year was so beautiful and wonderful, journaling, therapy, like I said, nourishing my soul, healing the inner wounds. And then when I was ready, I remember telling God, I was like, listen, I want someone that's fully baked, meaning I always looked at this I would meet guys. This is what would happen. I would meet a guy and they would try to kind of pull me down, or they weren't at the spiritual level that I wanted them to be. So I would downshift myself. I would lower myself. I would try to balance into their energy instead of asking them to raise to mine. So this time around, I said, God, I want someone already cooked. I want someone my level, have them come in and meet me where I'm at so we can grow spiritually together. I don't want to have to pull anybody up. I don't want to be pulled down. I want to meet someone where I'm at. And boom, I met my husband.
Oh my God, that's
amazing. I met Donnie Wahlberg.
How did you knew that you were ready? There was something inside that's, we all come to realization, you know what, I think I'm ready. Was there moments that you felt I'm ready? It
was more because I made that commitment to repel everything and take myself offline. I just waited for a feeling of going, you know what? I feel like I'm ready to start talking to some people. It was it was a natural thing that happened over the course of a little over a year that I just went, you know what? I think I can maybe start talking to some people and maybe start flirting again to see if I'm interested. And Donnie came on my show and was interviewing him. And I was like, well, he's really intelligent. He's really smart. And by the end of the interview,
fits the box. Do you want to fill out an application to date me?
Right. I'm like, you seem nice and baked, So we went on our first date and I was like, I'm going to marry him. I just knew. And that doesn't mean it's, we never had any of our own problems. We, although we rarely do, but right away when we started dating, I was like, listen, I've learned so much and I've been through so much therapy. Before we start fighting, would you go with me to my therapist so we can discuss how, when we get in a fight, what tools we can both use? Because there's always someone that's a silent, that likes their, what is it? They suffer in silence, silent treatment. Then there's one that wants to talk about it right now. It's just how it goes, So I go, I don't know which one you are yet. I know which one I'm at. So let's do that. And so we met with my therapist and it was so wonderful. And Donnie loved it. He's like, great. So when things came up, we were like, okay, here's a situation. Let's use the tools we learned to get through these moments. And it's why our bond is so good. It's why people say, you guys look like you're still honeymoon phase. We are
how long have you guys been together?
Together 13 years. We'll be married 12 this year.
But it's okay, but he was open to it. A lot of men are not that open. No. The moment you're going to tell him, let's go to see a therapist, he will be like, oh, okay, no.
Okay, crazy lady.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's why you said he was mature enough. He's a mature man.
That's right.
And that's why I think when a man is the matured man, he can say, you know what, let's do it. Let's try all the things. But unfortunately, these days men are just like, okay, well, this doesn't work next. It's they're not into working through things. They're into replacing.
Well, look at the society. It's like swiping to the next. It's so easy to swipe to the next than to work on yourself. And I found that more when I was living on the West Coast, when I was living here in Los Angeles. I turned 40 and that's when I'm like, I'm moving. I'm never going to find a man in Los Angeles when it's so easy to swipe. And I don't just mean that literally. It's just the women out here, if men aren't fully evolved and spiritually evolved, they will, I was 40, I'd have to date 80. So I was like, I need someone that's spiritually evolved that will love me for me and not just waiting for something better to come along after we get together.
Yeah. And you already had your son. So you were coming as a full package.
I was.
Which I know dating with kids, because, I'm divorced with kids. your priorities shift too.
Completely.
And, you know, it's like I prioritize my kids. I remember one date I went and the guy's like, oh, I'm happy we have the same schedule. I'm like, I don't care about your schedule. My kids come first.
That's right. And I had a 6-month rule, which was, you're not going to meet my son until we've been dating 6 months.
Which is amazing. I think it's the right way, because a lot of times in the beginning, like, why bring kids into the mix?
No, exactly. And I got lucky because he only met one boyfriend before I met Donnie. So it was like, there wasn't a revolving, you know, door of guys. And now looking at my son's and Donnie's relationship, it's so strong. You know, so I feel proud that I did that the right way. And I feel proud that not only did I find the most incredible partner, I found my son a stepfather that's winning the lottery. That's true. Winning the life lottery. If, as a single mother, if you can find a man that loves your child as much as he loves his own children, you know.
That's where you fall in love truly with a man.
That's right.
Because it's like you see so, like the way other people treat your children, you start looking at them completely different.
That's right. It's true.
Because, you know, they can fake love to you, but they can't fake that love.
Right.
And that's how you know. It's like, okay, is this real or not?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good telltale sign. Another good dating tip. If anyone wants a dating tip
oh my God, I love
and how to weed some out. I mean, this isn't breaking news. This is obvious, but it worked every single time, which was I'd go on a blind date, we'd have dinner, and it was always how they treated the waiter. It was 100% of like, if they were dismissive to them, did they give them eye contact? Do they smile and say thank you when the food has come? Those little things mattered so much to me. And it made all, because then if I went on day 2, I said I shouldn't have gone on day 2 because I saw how he treated the waiter. And it was those little tiny things where you go, okay, I know what team that you're on. It's not gonna be my team.
No. You start observing people and you start picking those things. But I feel like a lot of times when, especially younger, you don't pay attention to this because it's not as important,
right.
And you don't even know what to look for.
No.
Once you've lived your life, especially having children, everything starts changing. And if being a single mom, I mean, that's not easy. Just working, raising a child that's, has autism. It's like, it gets to the point where you're like, you know what, if I'm going to spend my time, it's better be worth it.
It better be worth it. That's right. That's why there was a lot of only first dates. Because you're taking me away from my son.
I'm a big believer. Why would you give somebody a second chance if you know it's not going to work?
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of women are afraid to be alone. That's a problem, I feel like, these days too.
That's a scary way to get into a relationship, though.
Yes.
Because, I was talking with my sister, too. She was like, I'm just afraid of being alone. I'm like, that's not a reason to date. You have to be comfortable being by yourself.
Yes. And that's what self-love is.
That's exactly right.
It's like a full circle. If you love yourself so much, like I would rather stay home and work on my project.
Me too.
Than being with somebody and you have to pretend you're somebody not and then listen to their stupid jokes.
That's right.
And you have to laugh.
Right.
And you think, oh my God, I want to go home.
Right.
I wasted the whole lipstick for you.
And you know what? And I didn't need a free dinner. So it's like, you know what I mean?
I know, I'm on a diet anyway.
But it's true. Like, don't date for loneliness, because you know what you're going to get? The opposite. You're going to get the opposite. So that's why I talked about that year of being on my own.
Wait, do you have a book about dating? Because I feel like you need one now.
I don't. But who knows? Maybe I'll weave it into some other future book. But that was a big one too, because like I said, I was a serial monogamist, so I was never alone. So that first year I was like, whoa, I'm by myself. And it got to the point where
was it like, tempting in the beginning to be?
For sure.
Because I wanted, like, I'm going like you, from a relationship to a relationship. I had never been single, but it's always a long-term relationship.
Yep.
And sometimes I even think like, what does it feel like to be alone?
Right.
And people always get jealous because they're like, what are you talking about? Nobody wants to be alone. I'm like, well, I love to be by myself.
It really, really was a beautiful thing. In the beginning, it was hard if like someone would like ask me to go out or something. I'm like, oh, he's hot. I'm like, no, I promised myself this is the year. And it wasn't until, and you asked me, how did I know when it was time to date? When I finally was comfortable being alone. when I loved being alone. I didn't need anything from anybody. I just wanted to grow with a companion. Yeah. And when you can go into a relationship needless, I need nothing from you, because as soon as you need, what does that feel like to be with a needy partner? It's terrible, isn't it? Someone that's too needy, we're like, But when you can go in fully cooked, I keep calling it that reference, but it's true, fully, you know, as much as you can, there's growth to be had in the future, but to be needless, entering a relationship is everything.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Really.
And so girls, before you're going to find that forever after, you have to work on yourself and love yourself to the point that you want to be with you alone.
Yeah.
And then you're going to find that person who will love you for you.
Yes. He might not be a boy bander, but.
But you'll be good enough.
Yeah, you'll find the one. You'll find the one.
So tell me, you're working now on a very exciting book.
I am.
About menopause. Why menopause? I mean, there's so much unknown around it. And I feel like this is one of those topics that women go through, but they're afraid to talk about it.
I'm going to have to come back next year when it comes out, February of 2020. We're in 2026, 2027. I wrote, so this was my 10th book. And the first book I ever wrote was for pregnancy. It was called Belly Laughs. And it sold over 1 million copies. It was a huge hit. And it was really a funny pregnancy book about every symptom that you go through during pregnancy, but in my truth-telling story way.
So you went through a lot of them.
I went through every symptom you can possibly imagine during pregnancy. You name it, I had it. So I wrote this amazing, funny book. So menopause was happening, and I thought, what if I took the template of Belly Laughs and did the same thing with menopause and create this book where the stories are hilarious, but they're very educational. So you learn a lot through there, but you're going to laugh and not feel alone. So it's
Which I think is the most important thing, because when you read it in a way that's entertaining, it doesn't feel that scary.
That's right. And I like to be educated through entertainment. Like, teach me in a fun way so I'm not bored.
Of course.
Because my ADHD is so bad that I'll just be like I can't watch TV without being on my phone. I can't go to the movie theater without being on my phone. Like, I need constant stimulation. You know what I mean? So if you're going to teach me, I want to be entertained. And that's why podcasts are really good for me, just for people with ADHD, I think, because we need to visually learn. You know, there's got to be something rather than just words on a page. So I made the stories very entertaining.
Oh my God. Okay, how does a woman knows that she's premenopause or it's happening? So what's the first signs?
It depends on everybody. Everybody is different, but there are some telltale signs, which is like your hormones start to shift. So you'll notice maybe even your skin texture. You might break out more. You might have more dry skin. You will also notice maybe the weight gain starts to happen in like your gut, where you're like, wait a minute, I'm working out like crazy. I'm barely eating. And I notice that I'm not losing the weight like I used to. When you say the words, I'm not losing the weight like I used to, you know, you're probably the beginning stages of that. This usually happens around, perimenopause happens anywhere between 40 and like 47, around there. But then there's also hot flashes. Then there's also insomnia is a big one. It's the 3 o'clock in the morning wake up, and then you can't go back to sleep. That's
my God, I'm having those.
That is a
I'm like minus 4:30, but it's also because now I have to sleep on my back, which I can't do.
Right? It's hard. And then you notice that your libido changes a lot. You're like, well, I'm not as like brandy as I used to be.
Well, that's not for me, thank God. Okay. What other? I'm like a doctor checkup right now. Okay, yes, no. And then I have to check my hormones.
The good news is, though, they removed the black box warning for hormone replacement therapy.
Wait, where's this black box
warning? Black box warning means they used to have a label on certain medications to say this can cause cancer, warning. But it was a flawed study back in the day, and it wasn't done correctly, and they finally realized it, and they took that off, which means everyone can feel better about getting on hormone replacement therapy. Why is that important? I'm telling you guys, if you want to save your skin, the elasticity, if you want to prevent cardiovascular disease, it also helps with preventing Alzheimer's. You replace the hormones that you're losing, you're going to have the energy, your mood. As soon as you start to feel like you're becoming a Karen, that means your hormones, you've got to check your hormones. When you go to your gynecologist, now, mind you, this is a very good thing I'm telling you right now. Remember this? In perimenopause, it's very difficult to get blood work for your hormones. You're really kind of almost treating symptoms. So if you go to your gynecologist saying like, I'm having insomnia, things are changing, la, 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 she might start you on a little bit of hormone replacement therapy. It isn't really until you get to menopause. Now, what does menopause mean? Menopause is only one day of your life. Menopause is you are done. It's been a year. You haven't gotten your period. You're done. Game over. Then you're postmenopausal. And you can see that in your blood work. I think it's recommended now that people start on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, when you're in perimenopause. Actually, they're showing that the benefits, long-term benefits, are better if you start during perimenopause. Then in menopause and post, I can't tell you how much it saved my life. I feel like I'm back to my 25-year-old self when I felt like an 80-year-old woman when I wasn't taking HRT.
Okay, well, I feel like I want to call my doctor.
Oh my God, it's true. The joints, like I
just by the mood swings sometimes.
True. Like getting out of bed, I remember being like, "Oh my God, crack, hip." And now I feel like I am back to my young body self with the energy, and I'm not crazy, I'm not moody, I'm sleeping. It's just a game changer. And I talk about all of this in my book in a very funny way, because it took me a very long time to get an HRT. So I went 9 years without it. And so I can really see the difference in the benefits.
Well, 9 years, yes. How did you end up doing that? Or the doctor recommended, or you decided like, you know what, I might as well try it?
Well, 9 years ago, it still had the black box warning.
Okay.
People were scared, so saying it can cause cancer. Now, if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, the BRCA gene or whatever it's called, you might want to look into it with your doctor big time, but for the majority of people, they're finding the benefits. I feel sorry for the baby boomer generation because they missed out on having all of this preventative medicine to help them as they age. I mean, look at the osteoporosis, like they're getting brittle, breaking the bones. This helps with that.
Really?
Keeps you from, have your bones thinning out. There's just so many benefits from it. I sound like I'm doing a paid advertisement. I'm not. I just know that in this lifetime, I am meant to share what I go through to help other people. And that is one big thing.
And it's important, you're right, because we all learn so many things. And that's why I created In Heels, because I want people to come in and share their knowledge.
Yeah.
Especially in this, age where there's so many new things being discovered, or peptides or exosomes or stem cells. There's all these new products that can make your life so much easier and better.
Yep. I do love peptides.
Oh my God, I Glow.
I'm not on Glow. I can go through my list.
I want to get into your beauty.
Yes.
Because how did you start clean beauty?
Okay, so I started clean beauty out of a need because I woke up I didn't wake up one day going, I want to create a beauty brand. Yeah. I did not want to do that. I just wanted to find a clean brand because I'm very paranoid about all the toxins in our environment. We're being so overloaded between our sky, our air, our food. I want to live forever for my son. I want to also feel good and look good getting older. Mm. And when I started researching beauty brands, I realized the ones that saying they were clean weren't clean. And I said, how are they getting away with this? Isn't this illegal? How are they getting away with saying that they're clean? Because all you have to do is look under the hood and look up the ingredients and you go, oh my gosh, it's because the FDA doesn't really regulate beauty at all.
Really?
1915 was like the first big regulation. Now the regulation is this. Are you making it in your basement? No, I'm not. Okay, thanks. Hang up. They're not testing ingredients. They trust the manufacturers to tell you the levels. That's it. So I said, how can I make a brand where I really make a clean brand for real? Because what the hell do I know about ingredients? I don't. Well, there's a place called the Environmental Working Group. If you don't know who they should be like what the FDA does. EWG.org, write it down. Okay. This is an organization that has doctors and scientists that have done the work for decades, going on to brands, scooping up what's underneath the hood, and then telling us what's good or bad about that brand. Like, this is cancer-causing ingredients. So you can
it's an official website where you can put in and see what it... Wow.
Exactly. So I met with them and said, hey, you've done the science. Can I have your science and go build a brand on what I can and can't do? And they said, Of course. Here. So they handed me a book of over 900 pages of unacceptable ingredients, a book of over 700 restricted ingredients, and said, good luck. I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to create a brand, because now I know why everyone's using these crappy ingredients. It's cheaper. They're going to make more money. They don't care that it's cancer causing, because again, it's going to make them money, and they can come out with 80 billion different colors and and get out to market like that. And I was like, no. For someone like me who's had so many health issues, leaky gut, candida, Hashimoto's, I can keep going. I have celiac disease. I think I said that. I needed it for real to be clean. So I met with my manufacturer. I said, listen, you're going to hate me, but we're going to come up with a brand and figure this out. If we can get people to the moon, maybe, we can get people to create a beauty brand that is super clean. And we did it. So we've got our makeup and we've got our skincare. And for instance, like we've got glass containers because it's cleaner. Our mascara is one.
I love it, by the way. I used it today.
You look so beautiful.
I used it today. I used the lip liner. We used the lashes. We used the lip gloss. And I tried your skincare. And my skin is so picky. Right. It usually breaks down. And it's been a week. Nothing. It melts my wrinkle-free face.
Can I tell you why there's no breakouts too? Because besides it's feeling clean, there's a word that I'm going to have my makeup artist scream. What's the word of it? Non-comedogenic.
Oh my God, I know that word. Yes, that's it. But it's very long. They have to come up with a shorter version of it because it's too much.
It's too much, but not that many products can say that. And what that means is, you guys, we don't clog your pores. So we're super clean. We go to the EWG and I make sure that, and we got verified with our scrub, but just to brag about this, because this we can barely keep in stock, because we're one of the very few without hormone disruptors.
Oh, wow.
You know how we're all paranoid about hormone disruptors because they stay in our body forever chemicals? This one doesn't have it. If you Google, does mascara, is it have forever chemicals? This says yes on Google. All mascaras have hormone disruptors now.
I didn't even know they do.
Yeah, all of them do, except ours. Glass container, doesn't have aluminum powder, doesn't have formaldehyde. And then our cleanser, I don't know if you've taken off your makeup with our cleanser yet.
Yes, last night.
It melts off your makeup. It's a great
I did the full thing. I put the cleanser on, then I did the scrub, then I did the same thing for my boyfriends. And then I was like,
Men love it. Men love it. Men love it.
Oh, yeah, now he loves it. So I'm like, no. It was just like, I was testing one night. The rest is...
That's it. We'll send him some. But I'm super proud of it. You know, we use aloe, chamomile, there's shea butter.
You know what he said? That this smells so good.
It does, doesn't it?
And he told me the flower it smells like. Hold on. Oh my God. Because I couldn't figure it out. And he's like, no, it smells like
rose.
Oh, roses.
No. It's rose geranium.
Oh, because he thought it was something else, but it smells amazing.
Isn't it so good?
Because usually a lot of products have like very chemical smell.
Well, that's because they're using
like
a chemical.
perfume.
They're using fragrance.
Yes.
And fragrance is a toxin.
Smelled like a flower. Like I was in the garden. We have so many roses in the garden and all this beautiful. I'm like, oh my God, that's the first thing he said. It smells so good.
It does. That's what we always say too. It's our exfoliator. It's our exfoliator. Men love it in their beards, but the exfoliator, you guys, if you try the exfoliator, you use it once, and I want you to feel your cheeks, because you're gonna be like, oh my God, it is so soft. And it gives you that like buffed skin look.
Yeah.
I'm 75 years old and look at me.
And what I love it isn't scrub it. Like, you know, like some scrubs are like too harsh, too hard. This is, in the beginning, I put it on, I'm like, oh, it's nice. Is it actually going to take things? And then you scrub it and you're like, oh my God.
It's the perfect amount.
Yes.
It is.
It's not too much, not too little. Did you started with few products? Or?
I started with 3 lip glosses to see if people wanted clean beauty. Because I'm like, we're more higher end. We're considered a luxury brand because we don't use the cheap cancer-causing ingredients. So I'm like, well, you have to pay for those, clean ingredients. So we started with 3 lip glosses and we sold out pretty quickly. And then I just expanded from there, and listening to our customers saying, please make a clean mascara. Okay. Please make a moisturizer that doesn't make me feel oily, or it works on dry and oily, and our moisturizer is to die for as well. So we just kept going and going, and we're still, our lip liner is amazing. You're wearing it now.
I love it. Wait, do you have foundation? Because that's what I was like, this is so good.
We're working on our foundation.
Okay, great.
We're literally doing this. We're stirring the pot. The thing is, we found a base we created the base that's amazing. The problem is we have to create 30 shades. Oh, we have to cover everybody. So you have to nail the shade. So once we have the base, We have to mail it. I nailed my base. So I'm wearing it right now, but I got to take care of everybody else.
Yes.
So, yeah.
No, because the moisturizer itself is so amazing. And that's when, like, if it wasn't with a little color, you know, for the day, that would be even better.
I know. Everyone's asking us for the tinted moisturizer. I'm like, someday we'll get there. The problem is sometimes those tints have cancer-causing ingredients in it.
So that's where the problem comes in, because you want to be clean, but at the same time, getting all these colors.
Yep. That's a problem. This is why we don't sell a super red lipstick, because the red is...
So wait, so all the colors in this lipsticks are natural colors?
I would say natural in a way of we still have to create it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But it's...
Yes.
Wow. Without the
bad stuff. Correct. So they're made with aloe, chamomile, shea butter, and they're not sticky. So you're going to notice that. You know how some lip glosses are like, me.
Yes. Me. And then it's hard to open your mouth and you feel like you have a tape in it.
Right. And we're vegan and cruelty free. And that's really hard as well, because people are like, well, why don't you just make a red? I'm like, well, in order to make a red that's clean, we'd have to kill a beetle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In order to make clean red, that's non-toxic red, we'd have to kill a beetle. And we're not going to do that.
Wow.
So isn't that wild?
I didn't even know.
I learned so much doing this.
I don't even know how from a beetle it goes red. It is like...
I don't know. Red beetle? Maybe I have to Google a red beetle, but... What is it called? Carmine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. But fragrance, ladies, that's a big one too, because people go, why is fragrance toxic? Fragrance, this is a good thing to learn. Fragrance is considered its own IP. What does an IP mean? Intellectual property. That means companies don't have to disclose their ingredients. So they can just put fragrance. So you're like, oh, this smells great. And you see the word fragrance in the back, but you don't know that it says underneath that fragrance in their file cabinet is cancer-causing ingredient number 1, cancer-causing ingredient number 2. And fragrance is meant to be nanoparticle. What does that mean? It meant to embed just underneath your skin. It's supposed to be so tiny, it gets underneath your skin level and stay there. That's why perfume or cologne stays there all day. It's embedded into your skin. So you're putting all those cancer-causing and then we're walking around having chemtrails and all these other things. You're just bombarding your system with constant chemicals. So it's like, pick your poison. If you want it to be wine, you want it to be Botox.
I'd rather do that.
Do it. But don't do both.
You can enjoy and then you can look at it.
Right? Pick your poisons, but don't bombard your systems. That's why I was like, I love beauty beatdowns, but I don't want to die for beauty. So that's why I was it was so important to me to create the brand and keep it.
How long did it take you to create all these things?
Well, we just turned 5 years old last October, but we started with 3 lip glosses. So it's getting there. We're getting there, you know.
But it's just hard to
It's harder for us because we follow the environmental working group guidelines. So that's harder. If I didn't care about clean, there would be 70, 80, 100 products out. I'd have foundation out. I'd be like, look at how pretty it makes you. I want it to work well, performance, and be clean. So EWG makes us go and third-party test. We go, hey, we followed your rules. And they go, really? Go prove it. We're like, what? So we have to spend the extra money going out and proving the levels are good and the ingredients are what we said it is. How good is that? Wow. So we have a lot of people who have issues, like you said, skin sensitivities.
Yes.
People on chemotherapy, people with lupus, people with MS, people with leaky gut, people with celiac disease. All those people I care about so much because I suffer as well. So we're taking care of, people who care.
Which is amazing. What about sunscreen? Like, that's the number one thing. I feel like it's
Great question. Great question. The thing about the sun is we need it. It's medicinal. Honestly, I'm a firm believer in not wearing sunglasses, let the sun hit your eyes. It helps protect your skin. I do want to create it's very difficult because sunscreen is very toxic. So I currently do not wear any. Like my son always, I never put sunscreen on him in his whole life. So I would let him go outside for 15 minutes in the beginning of the summer, come back inside. I'd grow it on him slowly and then never wearing sunglasses. Cause there is a thing, if you want to look it up by not wearing sunglasses, your eyes, by getting the sun helps your skin. It's almost like it puts on a layer of protection. Like your body knows, so, someday when we figure out how to make the most perfect non-cancer causing that actually works, it will be made by Hormone. We have deodorant coming out though, aluminum-free deodorant. It's going to be coming out next year and things like that. Yeah.
So you expanding, but you know about the sunscreen, it's actually so true. One time I had a sunscreen in my car in the glove compartment, and it was a hot day and melted. And you have a lining in my car, there's like a velvet lining. It was all burnt out.
Oh.
And that's why I was like, wait, if it does this
Right.
to this velvet lining, what does it do to my skin in the sun?
That's right.
And in the heat.
That's right.
And then that's just like, after a while, it was a shocking experience. Well, like, you know what? Everybody talks about dying from skincare. So I'm like, you're going to die from sunscreen.
You can die from sunscreen, 100%. You will have diagnoses from sunscreen. So, you know, I still wear a giant hat out on my walks for my face. But I make sure there's times of day where you can get the sun that you need, which is like very early in the morning. Then you get yourself 5 minutes in the noontime area. And then at the dusk time is another time that you go out and get your sun. So I make sure I walk my dogs at those times. So I'm getting the vitamin D that I need and doing it the right way.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, that's why you look so amazing and non-toxic and clean.
Trying. I mean, trying.
I feel like these days with so many products out there, sometimes and so much information that one contradicts the other.
Right.
It's becoming almost impossible to, what do you believe in?
Who do you trust?
Yeah, who do you trust?
That's
because
right.
one day they say this thing, then the next day it's like you say in that black box.
Yep.
First it was the sun, then they said, sorry, we messed up.
Exactly.
And you get so confused.
Well, how about this? How many news reports have we heard of coffee's good for you? Coffee's bad for you. Coffee's good for you. Guess what? Tonight on the news, coffee's good for you. Tonight's coffee's bad for you. You're like, what? Can you just pick a team and let us feel? But, you know, this is where it requires us to be, you know, our own, do our own research.
Yeah.
You really do. And especially if you have children, especially if you have young daughters, starting them off on a clean makeup education journey. Like, they love to go Sephora. Like, Sephora is now like really marketing to these young 12-year-olds.
Yes.
They purposely know this is a growing market. Why does a 12-year-old,
that's the largest market that buys all these things.
Exactly.
Because it's constantly, they just buy it the moment somebody,
Right.
you know, has it, they have to have it.
That's right.
My daughter has more makeup or all these things. But at the same time, because she had adrenal tumor, she doesn't have one adrenal gland. She has hormonal problems.
Right.
So this would be a perfect solution
this would be
for her.
A great solution for her. But the 13-year-old does not need a wrinkle reducer.
Wait, but that's the funny thing, because I see teenagers use
that's
more
what I'm saying.
anti-wrinkle things than me.
I know.
And I look at them, I'm like,
Because
what
they're
are
marketing.
you guys?
They're
Yes.
marketing to them. They're marketing these young kids, like, prevent them now. They don't need to start at 13.
The thing she uses, sometimes I feel like she's 90. I look at her box, I'm just like, wait a minute, hair loss, this loss,
Isn't it
anti-wrinkle. Then she puts this thing, you know, like I do it for me, so I don't have double. I'm like,
they're marketing.
what are you? Like, you're a 17-year-old. I remember myself at 17. I would barely wash my face and be like,
Right? I was doing Dial soap at 17. I'm like, whatever.
Whatever.
But it is because they're getting into the minds of our daughters. So you have to just educate your kids, you know?
So where's the boys? Like this, you know, like it's so hard to be a parent. And I'm pretty sure you had so many careers, and you know, being a mother is the hardest job.
Yep.
Or, you know, on earth.
Hardest, yes.
And being also is their mentor and educator, especially in the generation where everything is so like Googleable, and they get all this information they can't really comprehend.
Right.
And then you kind of have to be like, no, this is not accurate.
Correct. I do that constantly. Evan will come to me. He's like, look at what I just learned on TikTok. I'm like, no. I go, I have to teach you now that everything you see and everything you read isn't true just because you're reading and seeing it, you know? So just come to me. I can help you decipher and teach him discernment, by the way. Discernment is a great thing to teach your kids, how to smell BS out of these, you know.
Because I feel like my generation, my parents would teach me how to do things. This generation, I teach them how not to do.
That's exactly right.
It's like the opposite, because they know too much and they think they're smarter. Or especially my kids would be like, Mom, you were born in Russia, you have no idea. I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's like at least I can figure out without your TikTok how to do things. Your guys' generation, if the phones tomorrow are gone, you're not going to know. You would never know. Like, thank God you still know how to read. But other than that, it's crazy.
Well, think about how hard people are. It's like failure to launch is a real thing where a lot of these young kids are still living with their parents because they have no idea how to live on their own. Some don't know how to do laundry, don't know how to make some food, or don't know how to, I mean, changing a tire. If I went outside and gathered 1,000 18-year-old boys and said, change a tire, they wouldn't be able to do it.
No.
They wouldn't know
and you know, the funny thing is one time I went to my trust attorney and we were talking because her daughter was in college and she was calling her right in our meeting. And she's like, you know what? Like, we used to figure things out because we didn't have phones. We couldn't call our parents. And this generation, they're always looking for the right answers, somebody helping them out.
Yeah.
They don't want to figure it out. And I tell my kids,
it's so true.
They just want a quick fix. Somebody be responsible for that.
That's
so
right.
I tell my kids, I'm like, hey, listen, I will allow you to fail because it's better to do it when you're younger. Because when you're older, it's going to cost you money.
Good for you.
So you better learn now. So now when they have something as a mom, you want to fix it right away.
That's right.
But now I'm like, you know what?
I let
Take
him fail.
3 hours.
That's right. I let him fall so he can figure it out too. Because you know what? We want to create leaders, not followers.
Yes.
And what you talked about is like they want a quick savior to tell them how to do something. No.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to do it on your own.
Because there's so many things, you know, they don't teach them, I feel like, at school to think, to be a leader, how to create.
Right.
Everything is like, okay, here's a formula. You have to do it.
Right.
They don't teach them outside the box. That's why the other day, my son was going to his dad's house, but he was coming on a school bus from school and he got off my bus stop. He went to grandma's house, he ate, and he's like, oh, Nanny will pick me up. And I was so proud of him that he did something that was not according to the plan. Because he just wanted to go and eat. And I was like, I'm like, you know what? I love when you guys do that.
That's right.
I would never be upset about it because you're thinking outside the box. You wanted to do something and you did it.
That's so great. That's so good.
And it's like, and even like when my son is like, oh my God, like he was upset with, he didn't read a book or something. I'm like, Josh, I'm going to teach you how to do it. It's a smart way. We're not going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to Google the book description. We're going to Google it from 4 different sources. So by the end, you're going to know this book better.
Yes.
And I'm like, listen, I'm not against it. We all get behind. Sometimes we forget things.
Right.
But I'm going to teach you, you know, how to do it a smart way that you're not going to a teacher not knowing the subject.
Correct.
You still know what you're doing, but you sound like you read the book.
Totally. There's
different ways of it.
That's so smart. You're giving them pathways. Another pathway tip that I can give, when Evan started working for a living, it's so easy to do direct deposit. You know how people, your job, so just put it right into your account. I won't let him do that. I make him get a mailed check. He has to drive to the bank. He has to wait in line, put it in, and then he has to keep track. So it makes it so he's like, I'm proud of the money. I can see the money.
Yes.
I'm putting it, now I get to see, look at, I just deposited that. I'm watching my bank go up. Then every time he goes to his ATM, he sees it go down. He's become more mindful with his money. Yes.
And
he loves savings, but it's only because of that system. Because when you don't see the money, it gets really easy to spend it. You're careless. You don't know your balance, all those things. So that's a little tip. If you have a youngster that's entering the
well, we started
market.
that with a money allowance every month. And before, my daughter, you know how easy, Mom, give me a credit card and then go. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give you an allowance so I don't have to get upset every month while you bought all these things.
Right.
I'm going to give you an allowance and you do whatever you want.
But you have to stay within that.
So then the first month, I'm like, Alexis, because I can see, I said, you're not spending any money. She's like, well, you know, when it's your money, you start thinking, do I really need it? It was so easy to spend. I'm like, that's the point I wanted to make.
Right.
Because you see, every month you will be upset because I'm upset because you're spending too much.
Right.
But now you understand how it feels when it's your money.
When it's your money.
And it's just wasted. You start thinking, well, I already have this. Well, how many times am I going to do this?
That's right.
I said, that's exactly the point I wanted to make.
Exactly. Exactly. That's smart. Evan used to take 10 friends out to dinner. I'd be like, say what? You're 23. You can't afford to take 10 friends out for steak. And then, you know, implementing that new rule, he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't do it anymore because he doesn't want to see his money go down so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped a lot.
Well, I feel also like, I don't know if your son has a credit card, but for me, you know, with kids, especially until they turn a certain age, I don't want them to have a credit card because
Smart.
it's so easy to get behind.
That's where the ATM comes in handy with their paycheck. Like, that's where it's because it's his money. He sees it go down. You could spend it, but it's going to be gone. And then what? You're not going out till the next job.
Yeah.
So there's consequences for not budgeting correctly. That really helped.
Yeah, which is, you know, like raising kids. You probably, do you have a book about raising children?
Well, no, just healing them.
Just healing. Oh, that's a big one. That's a part of raising them is healing them.
Yeah,
especially, you know, I feel like every child now, the statistics is like every fifth child has ADHD or some sort of problem.
Totally.
So they go through so much that, you know, they all need healing.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
They're not built through resilience and overcoming things. Like I talk a lot to my kids, and especially with everything that my daughter went through, just, you know, finding from pain to purpose.
Yeah.
You know, it's not why it happened to you, what you can do with it.
100%.
And she's a big believer. She educates on these things. And I say, you know what? Actually, the strongest people get more things to go through.
Yeah.
Because they actually has the resilience and they're strong enough.
True.
And then they can take that and create a whole purpose.
Correct. And that's exactly what I did. And I continue to do. Like I did that with my son, and then I did it with menopause, and now I'm doing it with, I just found out I had mold poisoning. So
oh my God.
I had mycotoxin mold poisoning. So I'm going through the detox now. I'm almost through it. But that was another one.
Wait, what is the detox from mold?
It's so heavy duty. It's insane because what happens is I was in a water damaged building. We think it was my job because my makeup artist and I both got it. And you inhale it and it goes underneath, like in your sinus cavity, underneath it creates biofilms. So it creates this protection of a house. So you can't get rid of it with antibiotics, nothing. And then you're swallowing and it gets into your gut. Now it's just everywhere. And you don't know you have it until you start breaking down. And I started breaking down.
Oh, wow.
Big time. Last year, I was a wreck. I had teeth falling out. I had eye growth.
No way.
Oh
that
my
bad?
God. Oh my God,
wow.
bad. I was like inflamed. I was like, what is happening?
I mean, you always hear you can get mold poison, but I never met a person who actually had a mold poison.
You're looking at her. And it was horrific. And now you'll see more and more people coming out about it because they considered it like almost, remember how Lyme disease they said wasn't real? And now they're declaring it a real thing finally.
Yes.
Mold, they're like, oh, everyone has mold. Yeah, there is. Mold is everywhere. But some particular people who, whether you have a leaky gut or you have some type of vulnerable immune system, you cannot kick out those mold spores. So they colonize and grew, and they grew in mine probably for years. So I'm in that detox.
Is there a test?
Yeah, there's a test. You really have to go to a functional medicine doctor, integrative doctor.
Oh, okay.
Because your typical MD won't have it, but there's functional medicine doctor, integrative. You do a nose swab. I honestly feel like everyone should do one. If you ever say the words, I all of a sudden have these allergies. I have sudden onset asthma. I have sudden onset leg cramping. If you have sudden onset of anything, definitely try to do a mold test.
Because I live in the water in Newport, and I feel like we definitely have. Because every time I'm in my house in Newport, I feel so congested and like allergies. I go to Beverly Hills and I'm fine.
That could be something in that home. You can do a test, the dust test. There's something out right now. It's brand new called the dust test. It costs $200, but you swab your house, send it in, and they'll let you know of the toxins that are growing in your house.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, it's only $200. You might as well.
As soon as the show is over, I'm ordering. But anyway, Jenny, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Educated on so many things. I feel like I'm prepared for the next 10 years with different problems from menopause to mold.
Right. I'm going to come back next year.
I'm going to look beautiful. That's all that matters.
Thank you. And you do look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.